Good afternoon, everyone. It's 5/7/2019, and I wanted to come on here today with probably one of the most important messages that I've done since I started the channel. This is all stuff that we've been warned about for over a year now, but I think something is finally about ready to start happening, and that's the situation over there in the Middle East between the United States and Iran, like a showdown that's coming. Uh, so what we've heard lately, the last few days, is USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group has been deployed to the Persian Gulf along with some bombers. They don't say whether they're B-52 bombers or the B-1B bombers, but either one of those bombers would be equipped with nukes. And China said it will continue to buy oil from Iran, while John Bolton says he's willing to respond to any attack that occurs, and they're going to be prepared and ready. Predictions, Trump's going to be a war president. Of course, well, like I've said, we've been getting the warnings for over a year, and I think last March of 2018 was the first thing that I got about Psalm 83 war. So figure, and it would be a year in March. That's about 14 months. 14 months ago, 14 is 2 sevens, and of course 7 is the Lord's number. 14 months ago, that's when I got the first warning about Psalm 83 war coming. Then Israel's Netanyahu ordered massive strikes on Gaza militants, and of course that was after over 600 rockets have been fired into Israel. And an Iranian attack on an aircraft carrier is possible, according to they said to Israeli intelligence. So I think something's getting ready to happen. And then, of course, I watched this video where the Iranian president was making a speech. And in the speech, he was talking about his top military general. But the message being sent from Iran's president is the United States needs to take Iran more serious as a nation before the peace plan is unveiled. And, they have a plan in place to convince the United States that they need to be taken more seriously as a country, and that right now that as far as Iran is concerned about this whole thing with the peace plan, it's like they're not being. It's like their arm is being twisted or something. It's like they're not really being taken seriously. What he's saying is they're not being taken seriously, and they're just being forced into something and not really considered out of respect, in the negotiations with this peace plan that's coming up. So they want to convince the United States. I think the way he put it was that they were going to try to convince the United States that they've underestimated Iran's capability and their importance in the region and everything, and that they're making a mistake, and so they obviously have something planned. And of course that military general that I was speaking of, he had made the statement that Netanyahu better learn how to swim, because the only way of escape that he's going to have is going to be to jump into the Mediterranean Sea and swim away to get to safety or something, because he said that all of Israel is surrounded by, forces and stuff that are hostile to it, from Hezbollah to Hamas, which is sponsored by Iran, because they're the #1 state sponsor of terrorism in the whole world. And they're sponsoring all those groups and paying for sending all the rockets and everything over there that got fired into there. So you can just about, like I say, see a showdown is coming. There's no question of it. And I think this was this thing that that I got way back in uh, it was May, no, it was March of 2018. And so the Lord had gave me for the thing on Iran. Um, I got the Psalm 83. For the Psalm 83, uh, it goes back to that warning that I was given. Uh, and I'll read from 1 to 5. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent that they are confederate against thee. And then he gave me Zechariah 12:2, where he says, behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And then finally, in 1 Thessalonians 5:3, he gave me, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. And, we're, like I said, this is coming ahead of the peace negotiations, and it's no accident that that's happening, because Iranian president said he wants to be taken seriously in these negotiations, and he don't think right now. He said it's like the United States is treating them like, the United States is acting like some kind of a thug, and forcing them to accept the peace plan that's coming or something. Like they don't really have a say-so in it. And so they want to impress upon the United States that you're not taking us seriously. You miscalculated when you're thinking about how you're dealing with Iran or something, because we're a power to be reckoned with or something. So it seems to me like that from everything that I'm seeing and hearing, that like a showdown is coming. There's something that Iran has to prove, and I don't know how successful they would be with trying to attack an aircraft carrier. You wouldn't think that they would be too successful, trying to, just take on an aircraft carrier. But I'm sure they've got something planned, and probably what that they have planned, if I'm correct, is really something that maybe catch people off guard, something that people are not expecting. Not the obvious thing, like that they're going to attack an aircraft carrier, something like that would be obvious. That they might try, some, crazy thing like that, because they have had speedboats running at aircraft carriers in the past, and so they've been known to do stuff like that. But I think their best strategy would be to do something that people weren't expecting them to do, that's not expected. I think that would be their best strategy, and catch people off guard. Something you'd never think that they would do would be the thing that they would do. Not what's expected, because people are going to be prepared for what's expected. It's the unexpected thing, and the thing that catches people off guard that's going to be it's going to end up working and having some kind of effect on the whole thing. And I'm pretty sure that it's something like that they've got planned. But they must have something planned, and they must think that they have a degree of being able to be successful at pulling it off. And they knew that when he went on TV and he started talking about all this stuff, that they were going to draw the United States carrier group into the Persian Gulf with the talk, from Iran's president. They knew that that's exactly what the United States was going to do, was going to send an aircraft carrier group in there, because they had already sent them dispatched him to the Mediterranean Sea. They had already done that a few weeks ago, so they knew they were there. And so it seemed to me like that they did all this talking on TV in the last few days or something to draw the United States into the Persian Gulf. Because, and why is that? Because they've got something planned. So I think this is the thing that we've been waiting on for the last year. I think I'm not alone in feeling like something big is about to take place sometime this month in the next week or two, and that this is what I've been warned about for over a year now. So we'll just have to keep our eye on everything. But it just, to me, um, when they say peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon them. But look how many people, when they've had dreams and visions and stuff about the rapture, at the time that the rapture takes place, they're seeing like explosions and bombs going off. So, like the rapture is connected to some kind of sudden destruction or war, maybe World War III, like I was saying before, Ezekiel 38:39. But the Lord just wanted me to get this message out. It's important. Something's about ready to start taking place. And all of this is not a coincidence. I think that this is right at the time of Israel's 71st anniversary that all this stuff's taking place. No accident. I'll see you guys on the next upload. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. And God bless each and every one of you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.